webinar I'm doing. I'm exhausted, but we're gonna do our final webinar tonight, guys. Thank you everybody for joining us. We really appreciate you. We are going to have Rory Douglas, best-selling author, financial guru. He's going to be talking about trust, why they're important, and why everybody needs to be able to get this trust information. Now we have everybody's phone number and email and all that stuff. So we will, anybody that's interested in getting a trust afterwards, we'll be sending you some information, a text message and email on this, if that's something you're interested in. But we definitely thank you guys for joining us today. So we're waiting for our host to come in, our special guest to come in, and once he does, we're gonna start the show for this evening. He's on the West Coast.
He is.
And yes,
he's in the room. Aqua Financial is him.
That's him. Okay. And yes, guys, we will be recording this call.
Can you guys hear me?
No, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
All right. You can't see me?
No, sir. Just push the button that says the video.
Yeah, I have my video on. That's sort of weird. Let's see here. You guys can hear me, but you can't see me.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
That's interesting. Let's see what's going on here.
I can see and hear you. Oh, Kim said. Not Kim, we're talking about our speaker, Mr. Rory.
Let's see what we got here. That's funny because my camera is saying that it's on. Let me just see what's going on.
So like at the bottom left of your screen, you should see something that says stop video or start video. Like it's right next to the mute button.
No, mine's just showing chat, hand, Q&A.
So it doesn't, you don't see like a video camera icon?
Not at all. Not on the back. Not on the bottom of my screen. It's weird.
Were you on the iPhone or what platform?
I'm on an Apple computer.
Yeah, so am I. You should be able to. Yeah.
Normally I would see your camera. I don't even see you guys' camera there.
Yeah, but you can see us though, right?
Clearly.
Now let me ask you something. Are you going to be showing your PowerPoint presentation?
I'm going to be sharing my screen. Yes.
All right. Share your screen now. Let's see if we can at least see your screen.
All right. Let's see how we can do this.
That's the most important thing.
Work. Hold 1 second there. Let's do this. Let me minimize this. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Okay. 1 second there. Let's see here.
All right. He is a panelist. Yeah, we got him on here.
I think we got something going here now. Let's see here. All right. Now you guys probably should be able to see me. Let's see. Can you see me?
No.
Not yet.
Wow. Here we go. Okay. It's like someone got my camera locked. It's weird.
Yeah. So why is it doing that?
If I share my screen with you guys, can y'all see my screen?
All right, we can see your screen, and that's the most important thing.
So we're good there.
Yeah.
And stand by 1 second there. Let's do this here. Let's see.
All right.
Can't start your video because the host has not. You're the host. You haven't allowed me in. The host stopped it.
Nah.
It says unable to start your video. The host has stopped it. That's weird.
Yeah, you're a panelist. Let me see. Oh, let me see what I can do. Hold on. More. Please put on whole chain. No. Yeah, I can see you're blocking your camera. I can't undo anything.
Let me hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Sorry about this, guys. We're gonna start in 2 seconds. Don't go Kevin Samuel on us. That's a good one. All our cameras are. I was like, just show up for the class. We got you. Mr. Douglas, thank you so much for showing up. We got 200 people in the room today. What are you gonna give these people?
Well, first of all, man, we apologize for the technical difficulties, but that's not going to stop anything.
Absolutely.
For those guys who don't know, my name is Rory Douglas. I'm actually a financial educator, international best-selling author. The new book is called Cracking the Rich Code with Tony Robbins, Kevin Harrington from ABC's The Shark Tank, and Jim Britt, and is currently an international bestseller. I was voted this year as one of the top 100 global leaders in finance and insurance. And tonight I want to have a conversation with all of the listeners and those who are looking. And hopefully we can show you guys how to protect your assets and have money for a lifetime and not a lunchtime. I'm not going to waste that much time. And I'm going to just jump right into it because I got a lot of valuable information I want to share with you guys. But what I really want to do is instead of just talking about trust right away, I want to show you guys how to set yourself up for the trust, along with what you guys are already learning from my dear brother here and what he's doing. So everything is going to pretty much just woven in really, really well. So without any further ado, if you don't mind, I can just move forward. How's that sound, buddy?
Let's go, bro. We ready.
All right. Let's do this. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. All right. Can everyone see the screen?
100%. We ready to go, bro. I see it.
Okay. Just 1 second there. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can, bro. And guys, I just dropped the link to Rory's book directly from his website, Cracking the Rich Code. I know a couple people were asking about it in my DM, so the book is right there for you guys.
To be to see my screen, right?
Yes, we see the screen.
Wouldn't believe what I had to do. I'd had somebody send it to me through the other computer. So let's move forward.
It's all
Okay,
good.
guys,
Let's go.
here we go. Okay, well, right here, you guys, I'm on a national campaign for financial literacy. Right now in America, the average American is about 1 to 2 paychecks away from being homeless, if you can believe that, before the pandemic. 1 out of 3 Americans in debt before the pandemic. These are facts. The average American cannot even handle a $400 emergency before the pandemic. These are facts. So I'm on a national campaign for financial literacy. And what is financial literacy? Financial literacy is simply financial education. So I want to set you guys up and show you guys what we need today. And not only what we need today to get ahead, also wrap it up why trust is so important. So let me go into the presentation here. So the first thing you guys want to consider is when you're building a house from the ground up, what is the most important part? It's the foundation. If the foundation is weak, the house crumbles. So the first thing you want to have is a proper foundation. And what I mean by a proper foundation, you want to make sure first you have life insurance. Second, trust. And we're going to talk about that. Then you go from a solid foundation to emergency fund. There's 2 types of debt. There's good debt as well as there's bad debt. Good debt if I'm paying for my education or my mortgage or my business. Bad debt is just credit cards, wasteful spending in general. And then we go from emergency fund to debt management. There's something that's called the 10-20 rule. You may want to take a note, write that down. The 10-20 rule. We should have at least 6 to 10 months of our monthly expenses saved up just for emergencies. Well, for reference, if you have $1,000 in expenses a month, you need a minimum of $10,000 saved up just for your emergency fund. The 20 represents 20 times our annual salaries to retire, 20 times. So if I make $60,000 a year, I need 1.2 million to retire, not at one time, but over time. And then we go from debt management to investments. Did you guys notice how investments pretty much came last? Because if you don't have a solid foundation, if you don't have an emergency fund, or if you don't have a debt management plan, you can't not invest or even save properly. The average American pays every bill first before they pay themselves, and also conditioning themselves to be consumers. So anytime you pay your bills before you pay yourself, you're training yourself to be a consumer. So one of the first rules of money is to learn how to pay yourself first before you pay any bill. When you pay yourself first, that's how you become a saver. So that's so important. Put that in perspective. The next thing, we want to talk about banks. We want to talk about banks. What does banks have to do with trust? It has a lot to do with trust. What does banks have to do with what we do? It has a lot to do with what we do every single day, because traditionally, 85% of Americans are pretty much sold out to the bank. And a bank is an institution. It's an institution that actually has accounts. Not only is a banking institution that has accounts, a university is an institution. We have organizations that are institutions. You have a credit union. That's also an institution that has accounts. And then you also have insurance and investment companies. Those are institutions that has accounts also too. However, the reason the average American is 1 to 2 paychecks away from being homeless and 1 out of 3 in debt is because the traditional system of banking in America is pretty much put together for us to fail. Because the banks on average in America right now will give you on a checkings or savings account about -1%. About -1%, which is virtually nothing. When we think about inflation, I want you guys to write this down. Inflation is the silent killer. Inflation is the silent killer. Inflation is basically when a country prints up more money that it can account for, which means your dollar has less spending power. Right now, we're dealing with hyperinflation. And right now, the inflation rate in America is about 5.5%. So I want you guys to really think about that. If the bank is giving us -1%, we can go 0.3, but on average, -1%. And inflation is 5.5%. You got to have at least 6% or greater just to even beat taxes and inflation. You got to have 6% or greater. So that means that you can be saving money in the bank and losing at the same time. Because every year, taxes and inflation goes up, but then the value of our money goes down. So we're going to be talking about how you get ahead. How you get ahead. Now, let me give you guys the proper understanding of what a bank is. A bank is an institution for receiving, lending, and exchanging and safeguarding money, and some cases issuing notes and other transactions. Are you doing that with your bank account? No, people are not doing that with their bank account. They're not lending, they're not establishing notes, they're not exchanging. Now, I want you guys to know this. I want you guys to know what the banks do. So therefore, you can do the same thing the banks are doing. So somebody write down BYOB, BYOB. That's what we're going to call it, BYOB. Be your own bank. Be your own bank. Infinite banking, okay? So this is pretty much the mindset of the common American. The first thing we think about is safety. We think about banks. Are banks safe? Well, I would say yes and no. If you owe the IRS money, they can levy your account. Or if you owe a creditor and the judge give a judgment on your account, they can levy your bank account. So banks are not as safe as we think they are. Well, when you walk into a bank, you see on the wall that the FDIC only gives us secure our money up to $250,000. So you can have $2 million in the bank, but technically it's only secured up to $250,000. Okay, now we go from safety to a false sense of safety, and we go right over to risk. As you guys see here, risk. Most people get involved with investments, primarily with basically no knowledge. We get involved with stocks, bonds, gold, international trade, real estate, mutual funds, and so on. That's what the average American do. And about 85% lose because most people don't really have the financial education about what they're investing in. And that's what I love about what is happening, what Herman is doing with his platform, educating people, because it's all about financial education. Now, the hidden secret is right in the middle. The hidden secret is in the middle where you can't lose. And that's in insurance companies. That's why insurance companies are so important. Most of us have the wrong interpretation of insurance. So I'm breaking some things down for you guys so you'll be able to understand this clearly. See, you guys got to understand something, that when you use the word insurance, that's the operative word. It is connected to something. It's connected to something. So you just can't say insurance. If I said automobile insurance, you think about a car. If I said homeowners insurance, you think about a house. So when we talk about someone dying or passing or transitioning, that is considered final expense insurance. That is burial insurance. Well, to make a long story short, write this down. The true meaning of life insurance is to transfer wealth. I'm going to say that again. The true meaning of life insurance is to transfer wealth. Well, when we think about what's happening in America today, with the average American before the pandemic, 1 to 2 paychecks away from being homeless, and 1 out of 3 in debt, and the average American family cannot even handle a $400 emergency, what are we transferring to the next generation? So I'll tell you guys that life insurance is a necessity. So I always tell people this: would you rather put your monies in the bank and get -1%, or would you rather put your money where the bank put their money? That's the hidden secret. So I'm going to be talking about where the banks put their money. And I'm also going to be talking about why trust is important. why starting a business is important, and why not only that, also learn how to run your business like a corporation. America is a corporation, so it's so important. So when the bank is giving us on average, folks, -1%, inflation is 5.5%, and we have to have 6% or greater just to beat inflation. That's crazy. So the only way you're going to be able to get ahead, you have to receive compounding interest. Well, there's only one problem with that. The bank only give us simple interest. They don't give us compounding interest. So you may be asking yourself, what do I get compounding interest of? How do I receive compounding interest? I'm going to let you guys know. It's so important. It has a lot to do with insurance. Well, I said to you guys, would you rather put your money in the bank and get -1%, or would you rather put your money where the bank put their money? So here's where the bank put their money. The bank put their money in different places. We go to the bank, we deposit our money in the bank give us -1%, bank takes our money and they put it in the market and get all of the compounding interest. That's what they do. So think about that. We go to the bank, we put our monies in the bank. The banks by law, I want you guys to write this down. Banks in America by law are only required to keep 10% of our deposits. During the pandemic last year, the Federal Reserve didn't require the banks to keep 0 of our deposits. But let's talk about right now today. The banks are only required to keep 10% of our deposits. So if I put $1,000 in the bank would take 100 and save it and invest the 9. What would they invest the 9 in? Whatever they want to invest in, like home loans, car loans, student loans, credit cards. Banks also get involved with the stock market, S&P 500, top 500 American companies. Then the banks do something that's going to come to a major surprise to most of you guys. The banks are heavily vested in life insurance. So you may say, what the hell do banks got to do with life insurance? Well, last year during the pandemic, the banks were so infatuated with life insurance that they purchased $190 billion in life insurance last year. The banks, it's called cash value life insurance. Write this down, B-O-L-I, B-O-L-I, bank-owned life insurance. Now, what does the banks do with the life insurance? The banks take the life insurance and they cover all of their execs and their employees. If someone dies or transition, they get paid. The banks also take the cash value that's in that life insurance policies and they basically do infinite banking. They do fractional banking. They invest it and they make all of the compounding interest off of it also too. Now, the banks do that and all of it is tax-free. And we're going to be talking about that. And we can do the same thing. So once again, I digress. Keep this in mind. You got to receive at least 6% or greater, or else you're not getting ahead. Second, you want to make sure that you have compounding interest, which means we have to move from that APR and get into the APY, compounding interest. And not only that, it's all tax-free. So a couple of things you need to know. The first thing is called the rule of 72. Write that down really quick for you guys. The rule of 72. The rule of 72 is used by all banking institutions, credit card companies, student loan, car loans. They all use the rule of 72. And you'd be surprised. Most of the people who work in the bank don't even know about the rule of 72, yet the bank operates off the rule of 72. That's where compounding interest comes from. So you can do it yourself at home. You simply take the number 72 and you divide it into any interest rate or any rate of return, and that's going to tell you how long it takes to double your money. So for instance, if I said 72 divided into 12 equals 6, that means that your money doubles every 6 years. And in this illustration, this person had $10,000 saved at 29 years old, and 72 divided into 12 equals 6. The money doubles every 6 years. By the time they turn 65, they had $640,000. So I'm gonna give you guys an example. If I put $20,000 in Bank of America per se, they would make about $600,000 off my $20,000 in a period of 20 years in compounding interest. So that's so important. So let's move forward. Here is the real rate of return on our money. I want to introduce you guys to the silent killer. I told you earlier, the silent killer, inflation. Taxes is not the problem. I hope that you shouldn't be paying taxes if you are paying taxes, and it's going to get a little hot as I go along. But the bottom line is that the real rate of return on our money, and this is the reason why inflation is the silent killer. Let's say if you had $100 inside of an account and someone was giving you 3% interest. The banks only give you -1%. If they were giving you 3% interest, you got $103 there. Look at the taxes on $103. It's about 75 cents. And everybody's complaining about taxes. After taxes, your net is $102.25. Now here comes the silent killer, $3.50. But right now it's $5.50. So the question is, would you rather pay $5.50 or 75 cents? Quite naturally, you're going to say 75 cents. But guess what? We pay both. We see the taxes, but not the inflation. It's the inflation that's getting us. So the actual return is 98.75. We lose. That's the reason why compounding interest is so important. And most people are saving money in the bank and losing at the same time. It gets worse than that. Let me give you guys an example. So important. There's 3 types of taxes, 3 types of people. Where do you fit in? 3 types of taxes, 3 types of people. We have tax now, tax later, tax advantage. Tax now is like a checking account or savings account. Have you ever thought about that? Your checking and savings account is still being taxed, which means, I want you guys to think about this, the same bank that you save money in doesn't even save your money, but yet tax your money. I'm going to say that again. The same bank that we save money in doesn't even save our money, but yet they tax our money. So you have tax now, like a checking account or a savings account. Then you have tax later for those of you guys who have retirement plans, like 401ks, TSPs, 403bs, 457s. They are all taxed later. And then you have tax advantage accounts. This is where you want to be. Tax advantage accounts. You want accounts that are tax-free, like life insurance, college savings plans, Roth IRAs. You want a tax-free account. So let's keep it all in perspective again. Once again, you got to get, and you want to go from that APR to the APY, compounding interest. You got to get 6% or greater in order to be able to beat taxes and inflation. And you want to learn how to go from tax now to tax-free as we move forward. Now, if we don't have these 4 things today, you guys, we need these 4 things, or we don't have anything. I want you guys to write this down. If we don't have growth, safety, tax advantage, protection, you need all 4. Growth, safety, tax advantage, protection. That's so important. Write that down and it'll make sense. Now, I want to show you guys something. Famous entrepreneurs who use life insurance as their own bank. These are facts. Walt Disney got started out of a life insurance policy. Facts. Ray Kroc started McDonald's out of a life insurance policy. These are facts. America's top retailer, the first retailer, J.C. Penney's, got started with monies out of a life insurance policy. Master P got money from a life insurance policy to start his empire. Tyler Perry got monies from a life insurance policy to help him get his empire off the ground. So what we see today, you guys, we see that the rich and the wealthy use life insurance to carry them, but the average American uses it to bury them. I want you guys to know you can use life insurance as your own bank. And once you use it as your own bank, you want to make sure you set yourself up, as Herman was talking about, in terms of getting your credit together, the whole 9 yards. So when you think about getting your credit together, and when you think about not only having your credit together and you have a corporation and you have that in place, now you want to move to something that's so incredible. You want to own nothing. Listen to this, you guys. You want to own zero, but you want to control everything. I'm going to say that again. You want to own nothing, but you want to control everything. You want to set yourself up with a separate entity. And that's what most of you guys are learning right now. And once you set yourself up as a corporation, then you want to start moving into trust. It's so important. So let's talk about this. So you guys, I can wrap up everything I was telling you in a nutshell. When I was telling you guys, bank-owned life insurance, BOLI. Everything I just told you guys, this is secret information that you're not getting anywhere. I want you guys to listen to this. This is exactly what the banks do. Everything I just told you guys. Bank-owned life insurance is a form of life insurance purchased by the banks, where the banks are the beneficiaries and the owner. And this form of life insurance is used as a tax shelter. As a tax shelter. You guys, learn how to create your own bank. Learn how to create tax shelters. I want you guys to write this down. Most of you guys are used to having retirement plans like 401k. And this is something you've probably never been told. A 401k is really an Internal Revenue Service tax code. A 401k is really an Internal Revenue Service tax code. Okay? That's what it is. Now, when you set your corporation up, you want to make sure you set your corporation up also too, and then you can deal with certain different types of corporations, but I'm not going to go into that. That's things that you guys are learning already. But keep this in mind, that when you have your own system set up, as far as through life insurance, you can set yourself up tremendously. Now, I just told you guys, if you don't have these 4 things, you don't have anything. Growth, safety, tax advantage, protection. You need those 4 things. So I have a question for you guys. Would you rather put monies in the bank and get -1%, or would you rather get up to 15% compounding? It's available. Get with Herman, he'll tell you how to get it. Also, the monies that you have in these type of accounts, guaranteed no loss. You can't lose anything. Also, you have tax advantage, which means the money you have in these type of accounts, you can take them out 100% tax-free at any time. And here's something that's a bombshell for you guys. I just told you guys that a 401k is an Internal Revenue Service tax code. So anytime you have a 401k, you are investing in the stock market for your retirement, which means when the market goes down, you lose money. When the market goes up, you make money. 2008, people's 401ks turned into 201ks. Right now, we're fastly approaching another 2008. So people have their money in retirement plans. So you need to learn this information that I'm telling you so you can protect yourself. That's so important. Now, here's a tax code that most of you guys probably never heard of, but write it down. Internal Revenue Service tax code 7702. I want y'all to write that down. 7702. Internal Revenue Service tax code. Now, Internal Revenue Service tax code 7702 says anyone that is saving for retirement in America can retire tax-free, but only in a life insurance vehicle. But when you have a 401k, you're investing in the stock market for your retirement. When you have a 7702, you're investing in yourself for your retirement. So the government allows you to retire tax-free, just like if you had a ministry, a 501c3, tax-free. So that's where we want to learn how to go. So let's move forward and talk about trust to wrap this all up, because it's so important. Because once you get your house in order, when I was telling you guys in the very beginning, you want to make sure you have a firm foundation and you want to set yourself up for a lifetime and not a lunchtime. But listen, I want you guys to write this down for the sake of time. I can't tell you guys every type of trust, but there's over 80 different types of trust. Over 80, okay? Write that down. Over 80 different types of trust. And there's a trust for you. It depends on what your situation is. It's a trust for you. So you want to make sure that everyone has a trust. If I have a home, should I have a trust? Yes, you should. If I do have a home, should I have a trust? Yes, you should. If I have a business, I have a trust. You definitely should have a trust. If I have a family, do I need a trust? Yes. No family? Yes, I need a trust. And that's one thing we're not doing as Americans. When I say own nothing but control everything, you want to make sure you protect yourself. See, your estate is so important. And most people don't even think about that outside of just putting money in the bank, outside of just saving money. And let me tell you guys something. You could be into real estate and make a lot of money, but if you don't understand how money works, guess what? You're still broke. You could be rich. You can have a whole lot of revenue and still be broke if you really don't understand how money works. But today I'm gonna pretty much focus on 10 different types of trust. These are 10 that I think that you guys should know about, but you wanna know additional information, quite naturally, you wanna tap in with Herman and then we'll help you guys to modify the trust that you need. But the first trust is a common trust. It's called a living trust. That's a trust where you benefit while you're still alive, which means you can make, you benefit while you're still alive. You have a trust and you're using it right now. That's just a living trust. That's the first one. That's common. And then we have the second type of trust is pretty much a testimonial trust. That's also known as a trust for the beneficiary, okay? Which means you have the benefits of the beneficiary, which means that once you die, you can pretty much lead things in the direction where you want to lead them at. Now, here's a trust that's really common. Number 3 was a revocable trust. Everybody should know about a revocable trust. You can make changes while you're still alive. That's a revocable trust. And most people use revocable trust because they make changes while they're still alive. I mean, you may be going through a divorce, or you may be doing certain different types of things. So when I'm talking about trust and I'm talking about 7702, I'm telling you guys this for a reason when I say 7702. See, when you exercise 7702, I want you guys to take a note. Bankruptcy can't touch it. Lawsuits can't touch it. Creditors can't touch it. And I hate to say this, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to leave that alone, Herman. It has something to do with kids, but nobody can touch it. Just put it that way, okay? Now, the revocable trust, like I said, is a trust where you can make decisions while you're still alive. You can change it. And then number 4, the irrevocable trust. That's a trust where you cannot make any changes in your lifetime. It's etched in stone. And that's another common trust. Now, here's the trust that I think that a lot of people should be using, but a lot of people don't even know about it. The rich and the wealthy do. I'm talking about a funded or unfunded trust. These trusts are trusts where you pretty much can put assets in and you can put them where you want to put them. That's a funded or unfunded trust. And then we have something that's called a credit shelter trust, which I love, a credit shelter trust. That's a trust that allows you to grant the recipients the amount of assets and funds up to your estate, and it's all pretty much tax-free. So a credit shelter trust is a lot of things you can do with that. And I would love to have conversations with you guys about each one of these trusts and the benefits, because there's so many benefits that we'll be here all day talking about them. So I'm just trying to keep it cookie cutter for right now. But remember, you need everything. You just don't need one thing. You want to make sure that you have an estate package. You want to make sure you have a firm foundation. You want to make sure that your money is growing and not going. You're getting compounding interest. You want to make sure it's tax-free. So let's move forward. Number 7, this is a common one, an insurance trust. Okay, that's a trust where you pretty much are taking your life insurance and put it in your trust. And it's something important about an insurance trust, because a lot of people have kids, because most people who have life insurance, they want their kids to be the beneficiary. But let me tell you what 85% do. They make their kids the beneficiary, but when they pass, the kids can't get the money until the kids turn 18. So you may have a baby, but can't get the money until they turn 18. So it's important that you set trusts up to make the trust the beneficiary of your life insurance company, so you can appoint who will handle your assets and what they can pay out and what they can do with the money. That's why trust is so important. Now, I want to let you guys know something. This is so important. If you have a property, a home, and you have a will, you're still going to probate court. Most people don't know that. And our older generation, past generations, has lost so much property because they didn't even understand that knowledge. If you have a will, you're still going to probate court. If you have a trust, that's how you avoid probate court. So make sure that you have a trust. Now, number 8, I'm talking about a qualified interest property trust. And this is one I use a lot. It's a trust that allows the asset for different beneficiaries at different times, which means you can set trusts up to basically, pay out different people in your family. You can set trusts up to start your own banking system, all of that. And then you have another trust, which is called a charitable trust. A charitable trust, if you're involved with property, you want to get in touch with us, because charitable trust is a way where you can actually pretty much have nonprofit organization, somewhat like a 501c3 nonprofit, where you can donate things, you can buy things, you can sell property, you can donate property, and you can avoid the capital gains when it comes down to charitable trust. And then you have another trust that a lot of people I think should use, because a lot of rich people use the blind trust, which means you have a blind trust. That means you have a trust where the beneficiary only has the knowledge that they have the trust. So the kids don't know what you have. And it's a trust that you have, and only you know about that trust. So therefore, if something happens to you, things happen because you put them in place. Because a lot of times kids know exactly what you have on them, or family members knows what you have on them, and then they try to attack the trust. Because if a person knows the trust name and where it's at, they can go after the trust. But when you have a blind trust, nobody can go after your trust. Now, I told you guys, there's about 80 different types of trust, and you can tailor trust in so many different ways, but you need more than just a trust. You want to make sure you have the full package, as I said to you guys earlier, and I want to just give it to you plain and simple. Number 1, you want to learn how to go from simple interest to compounding interest. Number 2, you want to make sure that you're getting at least 6% or greater today in order to beat inflation and taxes. Number 3, you want to learn how to go from tax now to tax free, and you want to exercise Internal Revenue Service Tax Code 7702. Go back and look it up. Go back and look it up, because 7702 has over 80 different benefits. I just gave you guys a few of the benefits. It's a whole lot more, okay? You want to do that from tax now to tax free. And number 5, you want to make sure that you wrap up your business, your corporation, as a separate entity. You want to run it like a corporation. America is a corporation. You want to make sure that you own nothing but control everything, so no one can come after you personally. That's so important. And then last but least, you want to make sure you wrap everything up in the right type of trust. And once you wrap it into the right type of trust, you'll have money for a lifetime and not a lunchtime. So I'm going to pass it back over to Herman, and maybe some people may have some questions. We have some time here, and I'll pass it over to Herman. You there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I think you over delivered, bro.
Fire.
That was bro. The comment sections, all they're saying about we having church on a Wednesday. Jeez, bro, that was a lot, bro.
Hey, listen, it's you and Mike, man. I just couldn't jump on and just talk about the trust. Bro. I had to jump on and set people up with everything at one time. But the most important thing is the trust. But you got to set your house, put your house in order from the start. And that's where most people make mistakes. So you can do it all at one time. Don't wait around for your trust. Start it now so you can make modifications. That's what it's all about. So no matter if you're in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, real estate, whatever it may be, get with Herman so we can show you guys how to set yourself up like a real corporation, like a real boss. And I always tell people boss stands for business over stupid. And there it is.
I love it. I love it. All right, listen, we got you for like 10 more minutes. So everybody, there's a question and answer box. Drop your questions in there. We're going to get to them as soon as we can. I saw one of the questions, not in the chat, guys. It's a question and answer box. I want you to put your question in there. Let me ask you something. I saw this in one of the questions. How do you transfer your 401k into a trust?
Okay, well, that's a kind of iffy question. I'll tell you the reason why.
Okay.
Because see, a 401k is basically, like I told you guys, an Internal Revenue Service tax code. Mm-hmm. People don't know that their monies are kept inside of an annuity. Okay. So there's no 401k with money in it. It's inside of an annuity. Okay. Now, annuity is a contract with an insurance company. So how do I put my 401k in my trust? Well, you can't put something in your trust that you don't own.
Got you.
All 401ks are in unsecured accounts. What do I mean by unsecured account? Which means it's an account where you can actually lose because it's on the market. You only can control what you have. And there's only 3 ways to control your retirement with a 401k. I want to give it to you guys really quick. The first way is called the 59.5 rule. Mm-hmm. At 59.5, Uncle Sam is knocking on the door for taxes. That's the 59.5 rule. If you don't pay your taxes at 59.5, then they go to something that's called the 70.5 rule. The 70.5 rule means that you got to start taking taxes out of your 401k. It's called RMDs. If you don't do it at 70.5, Uncle Sam jumps in and takes 50% of your 401k. So that's the first way. Second way, you no longer work for the company. If you no longer work for the company, you can control your 401k, which means you can take your 401k from that unsecured account to a secured account where you don't lose zero. And then put that in your trust with no liability, zero, not losing anything. Then the final way, if you took a 401k from one company to the next company. Most people leave 401ks in prior companies because of the taxes. Guys, you got to get with this insurance game. You got to get with this trust game so you can start having tax-free vehicles. So you don't have to really be in unsecured accounts. You can go from an unsecured account to a secured account. I hope that helped.
That was a lot. That was game right there. Rory, somebody asked this question, who or what entity should be the trustee? That's a good one. Should it be your business entity? Should it be a person? What's the best? Who should be the trustee?
Well, I'll tell you this here. The trustee should be you. It should be you. The reason when I say own nothing but control everything, it should be you, which means you want to pull the strings. You want to be the one orchestrating how everything is actually going. Mm-hmm. And it can be you as a person, or it can be you as a business or a corporation also too. And you don't have to have just one. I have 12.
Man, 12 of them. Wow, I love it. I love it. I love it. Next question. In terms of avoiding taxes, Is a Roth IRA or a pension better?
Okay, a Roth IRA is an individual retirement account that has tax benefits, but the tax benefits are just minimal. But it's also in an unsecured account, which means that's in the account where you can actually lose because a Roth IRA is on the stock market. There's nothing wrong with a Roth IRA if you're dealing long term. But if you're dealing short term, what I mean by long term, short term, let's just say if I'm 20 years old or 18 years old, or if I'm 16 years old, my parents got me a Roth IRA over a lifetime, I can accumulate some funds. But I want you guys to know this, write this down. The market will make a correction every 8 to 9 years. These are facts, every 8 to 9 years. 2000, the market was up. 2003, the market fell. People's 401ks turned into 201ks, IRAs too. From 2008, from 2003, we went up to 2008. Everybody knows about the housing market crash. Boom, people lost half of their retirement. Their 401ks turned to 201ks. Their IRAs were pretty much half gone. Now from 2008 to 2021 in pandemic, you already know what's about to happen. Something's about to happen big. So there's nothing wrong with having a Roth IRA, but keep in mind that a Roth IRA is an unsecured account. It has some tax benefits, but there's something better than that. And what I would recommend is better than that is a life insurance policy that is yielding you compounding interest, and all of the proceeds are tax-free. All of them, not some of them. Everything is tax-free, which means if I want to take money out of my life insurance policy, if I put $500,000 in my life insurance policy and I want to take out $300,000, $400,000 tax-free, that's where you want to be.
Okay.
If you do that with an IRA, you're gonna listen. I want you guys to write this down. If you do that with an IRA or a 401k, write this down, you guys. You're gonna have a 10% penalty first, a 9% state tax, and a 25% federal tax. Anywhere between 30 to 45% of your retirement gone.
Woo. Woo.
People play that game every single day. I'm giving you guys some information that the rich and the wealthy use. That's why Herman has me here. I'm giving you guys some stuff that sounds foreign to you. But let me tell you guys, this stuff is not new what I'm talking about. The rich and the wealthy has been doing this for a while, and we better hurry up and catch up before they change the rules.
Before they change the rules. Yeah, the moment the rules, the information get out, they change the rules all the time. Somebody wrote, should someone take their property? Well, I can answer some of this. If someone take the property out of the LLC and put it in a trust, well, first of all your property should be under LLC, should be under some business entity, nothing in your name. But
Right.
since the properties are under an LLC, the LLC should be under the trust.
Yep, under the trust. And
Okay.
also too, as a side note, this is so important. And I got to tell you guys this for compliance purposes. If anyone ever listening in, this is important. When you have a trust, by law, you don't have to file your trust. We have a lot of people go to attorneys to do trusts, and attorneys tell them to file their trust.
Say that one more time, bro. A lot of people don't understand what you just said. Please say that again for them.
All right. You have a lot of people go to attorneys to get trust. And they set up a trust and they go tell you to file your trust. And when you file your trust, it's public record. And guess what? When blood is in the water, sharks come. So when you get a trust, don't you file it. You just notarize it. No one needs to know what it is and where it is.
That right there alone. That right there alone is the call. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm about to. Listen, if it wasn't for this call, you guys wouldn't even know I had a trust. You wouldn't even know I had one.
There it is.
It's private. It's private. No one's supposed to know. No one's supposed to know. Somebody asked, the money that is in these life insurance policies, how soon can you take it out after you funded it or for whatever reason? Whole life, whatever it is.
Great question. Whenever you put money in a life insurance policy, if you have cash value, you can access the cash right away. You can't put money in a life insurance policy and just take money right out if you don't have anything in it, if you're paying the premium. Life insurance policies are normally pretty much calculated from the index. That's the S&P 500, the top 500 American companies. It's calculated once a year. But let's just say I start a life insurance policy today. I put 50 grand in it, cash. I can go and take money out of the cash value and be my own bank, which means I can take money out tax-free.
Tax-free. I love it. I love it. All right.
And keep in mind, these things are not new. This
Right.
is how the former president came up. The information I'm telling you guys right now. They kept saying, show me your taxes. You ain't got no taxes to show.
You got nothing to show. What are you talking about? All right, 2 more questions and Rory's got to go, guys. Can your trust get an EIN number?
Well, here's the thing. You can put your EIN number in the trust. Put your EIN number in the trust. And not only that, if you're dealing with business, you want to make sure you get with Herman so I can give you a bunch of additional information that we got to get involved with the credit trust also too. And that's something, Herman, we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. The last question is actually for you, bro. They just want to know, how do I get in touch with you, Rory? Do you have a seminar or what how do people get in touch with you and your company, your business for the estate planning, trust planning, everything, bro? How do they do that?
Well, they get in touch with me through Herman and Michael.
There you go.
I'll tell you guys this, and Herman knows this, and Michael knows this. Listen, you guys, people are not giving information like we're giving information. I'm talking about Herman. People are not giving information like this every single day. So the information that we're giving you, we want to give you this information. We don't want to just give you something. I could be reached. If anyone wants to reach me, they can just go to officialrorydouglas.com. However, I'm backed up for almost a year and a half. Yeah. But through Herman and Michael, they know how to get in touch with me to set you guys up, and then we'll go from there. But everyone that's looking and listening, you guys are just like family. So definitely, I'll make a way to be able to help you and show you exactly what you need, because I have so much respect for Herman and I have respect for Michael. And I'm just so privileged, you guys, to come on tonight and share some information to help some people, because when it's all said and done, you guys, it's really not about the money. It's really about just helping people. That's what it's all about, helping people. Because I said in the beginning that the average American was 1 to 2 paychecks away from being homeless. That may not be you. You're blessed not to be there. And then 1 out of 3 Americans in debt. That may not be you. You're blessed not to be there. But I'm letting you guys know that there's so many people today that is really dealing with a lot of poverty and disparity. And when we come on and talk to people about information like this, it's going to be able to help you and your family to get ahead. But the old mentality of trading time for money, I'm talking about job, just over broke, just trading time for money. Today, you don't have enough time to trade time. So we have to make sure, you guys, that we set ourselves up, because today, the average millionaire has at least 7 streams of income, and the average American has at least 2 jobs. And this is the part I don't understand. 85% of Americans are dissatisfied with their job.
And still, man, Rory, we thank you so much for coming on the call. You heard you guys, he said he's backed up to the middle of next year. So I don't think you understand.
Not for you guys.
Right.
I'm not backed up for you guys.
I appreciate it. Yes.
Not at all. I'm not backed up for you guys.
So the strings we have to pull, we appreciate it. We know your time is valuable. Thank you so much, Rory, for coming on the call. Mr. Davis, we appreciate it. The comments are going crazy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, bro.
Take care, man. Mike, take care. Love you guys.
All right, Rory. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So you guys that are staying on the call, just some housekeeping stuff. We appreciate you guys for staying on the call. Yes, we will be having this recording available for anybody that's on the call today. We got your phone number. We got your email. Don't DM me. Don't terrorize me. There's hundreds of y'all. We will send the information out. We're gonna drop it most likely in the next 48 hours, but definitely tomorrow. There's 300 of y'all on here. I know y'all gonna kill me tomorrow. We're gonna upload it and we're gonna make sure we take care of you guys. If you guys are interested, we're gonna show you how to get a trust, all that stuff. We're gonna make sure you guys get that information. We're just gonna give you this information and get out of here. I dropped the link in the chat. Anybody wants to join my mentorship, it starts on Monday. This is the information my mentees are getting. This is the information my mentees are getting all the time. All right. So listen, tomorrow when we upload the video for the trust, right? We're going to put it in a secure location. We're going to send you guys the information. We're also going to send you, if anybody wants to set up to get a trust, we're going to set you all up. At least you have the information on why a trust is so important. Anybody who's already signed up for Monday, I can't wait to see you guys. We have a lot of surprises in store for you guys. Thank you so much for coming out. Click the link in the comment section right now if you want to join the mentorship. It's only $9.97, and you guys have me for a whole week. Thank you so much for continuing to support Bellastone Enterprises. And you guys have a wonderful evening. You're going to hear from me in the next 24 to 48 hours with this information. I'll talk to you guys really, really soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. God bless. Peace.